In 2011, the highly problematic individual, Adnan Oktar, better known as Haran Yahya, made the bold claim that there's a significant amount of evidence to show that the ancient Egyptians were way more advanced than we are currently comfortable in believing. Writing on his website, he states that civilization's progress from the primitive state to a more advanced one is a fallacy that evolutionists try to apply to history. To help justify his position, he uses the pyramids of Egypt as his evidence. He states electricity was efficiently generated and widely utilized in ancient Egypt, and that the pyramids themselves were giant power plants. Indeed, on the surface, this is a far-fetched position to take. However, years later, a group of physicists from the Physics and Technology of ITMO University in Russia made an outstanding discovery that seems to go some distance in contributing to this theory. In order to understand the electromagnetic wave interactions, the scientists conducted a multi-pole analysis with their collected data, which is a compact and accurate way of describing the spatial distribution of electric charge within a molecule or object. To the astonishment of the researchers, their results showed that the Pyramid of Giza can concentrate electromagnetic energy in its internal chambers as well as under its base, where a third unfinished chamber is currently located. How advanced were the ancient Egyptians to be able to build this? This is a collaboration with the H3XA channel, and I would like to welcome you back to the Mysterious Middle East. The ancient Egyptian pyramids of Giza have never been accurately dated, although we know they were built approximately around the middle of the 3rd millennium BC. The chronologies of this period have been reconstructed from surviving lists of kings and the lengths of their reigns, but these lists contain known inconsistencies and errors, revealing flaws in our understanding of who the ancient Egyptians were and how advanced they had really become. So in order for us to understand how advanced they may have really been, we first need to understand their official history.
Before we may scrutinize the true nature of the pyramids and their origins, we must first understand the dynastic history of Egypt. Within this period, the ancient Egyptian civilization begins. The first pharaoh of Egypt, Menes, unites the upper and lower parts of Egypt into a single civilization and sires the capital at the midpoint of the two lands in a city called Memphis. During this time, the Egyptians developed hieroglyphic writing, which would be important for making records and running the government. Near the end of the dynastic period and the start of the Old Kingdom, the first pyramid was built by the pharaoh Djoser and the famous Egyptian architect Imhotep, paving the way for the era of the Old Kingdom. Thus, the early dynastic period ended and birthed a new period of time with the 4th dynasty, the Old Kingdom, where it is believed that the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx were built. This is often called the Age of the Pyramids. The 4th dynasty was a time of peace and also a time when the sun god Ra became prominent in the Egyptian religion. However, the Old Kingdom neared its end as the 7th and 8th dynasties started to become weak until the government collapsed. The end of the Old Kingdom ushered in a time of poverty, famine, and torment, which gave rise to the first intermediate period, the dynasties in which Egypt split back into two countries. This is described as a dark period in ancient Egyptian history, which spanned approximately 125 years until the Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom began with Pharaoh Mentuhotep II reuniting the two parts of Egypt under one rule, signaling the start of the Middle Kingdom. Within his reign, the royal tombs were moved to the north, near the city of Memphis, and within this new era of prominence, the Egyptians who were tortured by famine and plagued by death started to use irrigation by carrying water from the Nile to their crops using an irrigation tool called the shaduf. The latter is still surprisingly used today in both Egypt and India. This entrance into a new technological era paved the way for the Second Intermediate Period. During the Second Intermediate Period, some of the dynasties at the end of the Middle Kingdom, and during this period, would sadly only last for a short time. However, it is during this time that the horse and chariot were introduced, and this paved the way to the New Kingdom. Within the New Kingdom, there was a time of great prosperity. The pharaohs conquered huge amounts of land, and with this, the Egyptian empire reached its peak. This was the time of Imperial Egypt when it extended its reach beyond the former borders to create an empire. It is the most popular era in Egyptian history in the present day, with the best-known pharaohs of the 18th dynasty. Sadly, all good things have to come to an end, and such was the case of the New Kingdom, leaving Egypt more divided than ever before. With this, ushered in the Third Intermediate Period, where Egypt grew weaker and weaker, until it was eventually conquered by the Assyrian Empire near the end of this period.
With such a complicated and contradictory timeline, Egypt's history remains vague. Perhaps the pyramids were originally built as a machine to generate energy, hence their unique properties with electromagnetic waves. One common paradox when it comes to the pyramids is that there is no known ancient text dating back to the reign of Khufu that speaks of him building the pyramid from start to finish, or even documentation on the tools they used. That would have taken from 25 to 100 years. To complicate matters further, in addition to their construction, we had the curious phenomena of how they were used to generate energy. While the Russian scientists who conducted their experiment say that the unusual electromagnetic properties of the pyramid are almost certainly just coincidence of its structure, as it is highly unlikely that the ancient Egyptians knew anything about this. Both mainstream and fringe theorists and scientists are warming to the idea of how powerful the ancient Egyptians really were, with even Dr. Wasim al-Sisi, a highly prominent Egyptian personality, acknowledging on Arabic TV that the pyramids may well have been power plants.
In the 20th and 21st century, this has led to a wide range of fringe theories regarding the construction of the pyramids and the wider context of exactly who or what were the ancient Egyptians, with everyone from African Americans and Nordic Europeans claiming direct ancestry to others speculating that transdimensional aliens or ancient Arabian giants were the architects. The legacy of this country's history remains controversial to this day. While some contemporary Egyptians rightly call many, if not all of these theories, insulting and an example of a modern world trying to appropriate or erase their historic identity, these alternate theories may have some basis in reality, in a manner that does not completely disregard 21st century Egyptians and their direct genetic descendants. Modern-day Egyptians, be they Coptic Christian or Muslim, are primarily Arabic speaking, a linguistic transformation that happened comparatively recently, following the spread of Islam into Africa 1400 years ago. However, as the mysterious Middle East has mentioned in earlier episodes, medieval Arab historians and polymaths originating from across the region, from Baghdad to Cairo itself, have suggested that Egypt's Arab influence may have occurred thousands of years earlier via a Yemeni tribe of powerful giants said to have once ruled over large parts of the Gulf in the antediluvian period. These ancient giants go by the name of Ad. According to the Holy Quran, the people of Ad lived for ages among the windswept hills of an area between Yemen and Oman, known as the Empty Quarter. They were physically well-built, highly intelligent beings, and renowned for their artistic skills, especially in the erection of lofty buildings with tall towers. Their power and wealth made them outstanding among all nations. Unfortunately, their material progress and physical power made them quite arrogant and boastful, leading them to turn away from Allah or God, to lead wicked and corrupt lives. Thus, the Prophet Hud was sent to summon them to return to God, and so cease their corrupt ways. Sadly, the people of Iram reacted with hostility and did not heed to the words of Hud. As a result, the giants of Ad were punished, and a sandstorm was sent against their city consecutively for 7 nights and 8 days. In the end, Iram vanished beneath the sands as though it had never existed. Additionally, as claimed by Zechariah Sitchin, a famous Fringe historian, the Old Testament and other ancient writings, such as those from Sumer, Babylon, Egypt, and Greece, were not myths or allegories, but accounts of actual historical events, depicting an ancient and advanced alien civilization that had created us. He believed that these aliens used fragments of their DNA to fuse it with ours and grant us intelligence to control our physical abilities, hence creating slave labor to do their bidding. Thus, it has been postulated that these entities made us build the pyramids, amongst other monolithic structures, with the help of their technology, hence their unique properties with electromagnetic waves.
According to Adnan Oktar, since no soot has been found in the corridors of the pyramids or the tombs of the kings, the Egyptians must have used electricity, emphasizing that relief carvings show that they used handheld torches powered by cable-free power sources. He goes on to say that on the Giza plateau, where the pyramids stand, is full of underground water channels, and with this, a form of hydroelectricity was employed. The pyramids rise above limestone layers, with the spaces between them being full of water. These special layers of rock that transmit electricity upwards as they carry underground water to the surface are known as aquifers. The high volume flow of the river Nile that passes through these aquifers produces an electric current known as physioelectricity. Although Oktar's theories lack solid academic credentials, his opinions on the technological nature of the pyramids is widely shared across the alternative theory community. Supporters of his position note that Nikola Tesla, the famed Serbian-American inventor and electrical engineer, established the groundwork for the idea that the pyramids were some form of electrical power plants. Whatever the truth may be, we will never know for sure. So let us know down in the comments below what you think. And thank you for watching. This video was written by the H3XA YouTube channel. They make videos on science, history, and philosophy, so check them out. Link in the description box below. They recently made a video on the science and psychology behind breakups and moving on. Don't forget to follow my channel, Optimistic Arab. This time I want to share another secret with you guys, and I hope this part isn't deleted. Around 10 years ago, when I first met Mr. Mysterious Middle East, I tried to bully him because I thought he was a sellout. I was a jerk and I was wrong. It turns out that he's one of the most authentic and original people I know. So this is me apologizing to you in front of the world, bro. I'm sorry. And thank you for showing me the world through your eyes.